We've all probably heard of the term influencers. We see them in various social media platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. But what are influencers in the first place? And are there any moral responsibility attached to that role? I am Janica de Guzman, and along with me here are my colleagues from the UPLB Philosophy Division.
I'm Marga Taganas.
I am Yula Junina Blanco.
Bernard Moreno Bragas po, Sir.
And together, we'll explore some of the moral responsibility attached to the role of an influencer. So, what are influencers in the first place, Ma'am Yula?
Influencers are essentially content creators with a huge number of followers. So what sets them apart from everyday content creators or yung mga tinatawag nating mga vloggers, yung mga nagpo-post
Bloggers too.
nagpo-post sa Facebook o TikTok. What makes them different is that they have a huge number of followers. And hence, influencers because they have the ability to influence.
Yeah, and I also want to add that these influencers actually have this huge trust from their followers because the followers are looking at these influential people, influencers, as people of credibility, people that they can trust in terms of their content.
Dagdag pa dun sa trust na yun, no, nakaakibat nun. I think what sets apart an influencer from our regular celebrity is that people look up to them for this sense of authenticity or relatability. Na yung mga pinapakita nilang content or mga videos and posts is something that genuinely reflects their real life scenarios.
Yeah.
Curious lang ako doon sa how we define an influencer. Kasi honestly, kaya ako sumali sa panel ay dahil nga very kumbaga sa trolling, kumbaga. Burden talaga ako sa trolling. Kumbaga, with all those definitions, kumbaga may tiwala sila sa mga tao, may authentic agent. Well, alam din naman natin, trolls wala, di ba? Kasi, I remember, there's this article sa Inquirer 2016. At yun daw yung pinaka nag-divide sa atin as Duterte and yellow turds, kumbaga. Na sinasabi, the title of the article is Confessions of a Troll. Kumbaga, wala silang authentic account. Kumbaga, ang ginagawa lang nila, nagpo-post sila, ganyan. At nakaka-influensya sila. At yun na yung pinaka-konteksto ng socio-political condition po natin. So, yun nga, that's the reason why I joined the panel. Curious din ako sa mga maririnig ko po sa inyo.
Makikita po natin doon siguro, Sir Bernard, sa sinabi nyo, no? Yung iba't ibang paraan na nagagamit ang isang influensya, especially online. And siguro magandang ungkatin kung bakit nga ba pumapasok yung mga tao sa gantong, sabihin natin profession or gantong larangan. No? Why do people want to be influencers in the first place?
Siguro bago natin sagutin yung tanong na yan, mahalaga kasi yung nabanggit ni Sir B, yung distinction between a troll and an influencer. Although they have some point of convergence, hindi sila pareho. Kumbaga, may mga trolls na not necessarily influencers. Although they have the ability to influence, they're not influencers. However, the topic for our panel discussion today is on influencers. So, pero madadaanan din natin siguro sa ating pag-uusap mamaya yung problema ng disinformation, problema ng
fake news.
Fake news.
That's really a good starting point. Kasi kapag iisipin natin yung role ng social media right now and how it changes the dynamics, not only in political but also socially. Like social media changes our social interactions, and then at the same time, people who are considered influencers, whether they are trolls, whether they belong to other categories, of people who use social media, we can't think of the fact that, well, these people can actually sway public opinion. They can change public conversations. That's why this, I think, conversation is also very important na busisiin natin ano ba yung ibig sabihin ng influencer, ano ba yung responsibilities nila socially, politically, and so on. So,
Yeah, kaya nga mahalagang tanong yung binuksan sa atin ni Ma'am Jen, no, na ano nga ba ang dahilan bakit ang daming gusto maging influencer? No, parang nakikita siya bilang isang career path. Nowadays, pag tinanong mo yung mga bata, anong gusto mo paglaki mo? Dati sasabihin nila, gusto ko maging doctor, o yung artista, gusto ko maging nurse, gusto ko maging teacher. Pero ngayon, karamihan sa kanila, gusto kong maging influencer.
YouTuber, content creator.
Yes.
So what's with that job that is appealing? Off the top of my head, naiisip ko ay malaking part yung freedom na they can do what they want. So there's benefit on their end in the sense na they can pursue their passions and at the same time, make a living out of it.
Kasi there are some content creators naman who became influencers kalaunan nung naging relatable at nagustuhan ng tao yung content nila. Pero it started perhaps as an interest, as a hobby. They wanted to express themselves. So naging avenue yung social media, yung YouTube, TikTok, to show the world who they are. No?
And parte pa doon, I guess, no, is the commercial aspect of it all. Na
of course.
before we have, let's say, national network celebrities and this mass media producing or offering commercials or advertisements to the public, the brand. And ngayon, we have individuals endorsing these products. And malaking parte nun is may assumption na ginagamit nila tong products na to, no? And it works for them, so they endorse it to us. So may utility on that part.
Yeah, and compared to traditional celebrities, I think more people can actually relate to social media influencers because of the content, you know, that we can consider as something that is organic. And yung nabanggit ni Ma'am Yula a while ago, which is yung relatability, kumbaga, that they can relate because they can see that, oh, these are also like normal people like us struggling, you know, in their everyday lives. They see like their struggles. They see the people who love them and the people who they love. They are like able to express even their vulnerabilities as part of their authenticity in the content. So I think dun nanggagaling yung like trust. It's like it's developing a parasocial relationship with the followers. So it's like, diba, even with very minimal interaction, physical interaction, or even digital interaction, it feels like merong sort of intimacy that you develop doon sa social media influencer and doon sa mga followers.
Tapos at the same time, parang may algorithm pa yung mga ano natin, no? Yung mga social media networks natin na yun nga, the more you like, the more you follow, yun yung finifeed talaga sa'yo. No? So, para bang ang napapatanong ako dito regarding yung sa pagiging influencer as agent. So, ano tayo ngayon as moral agents, nagiging moral patients na lang ba tayo because of these influencers, diba? Due to the power relations.
Yeah.
I guess dun sa part na sinabi ni Sir B, mahalaga ding ma-recognize na the power of an influencer, hindi lang siya nakapaloob kung sino yung followers niya. No?
Yeah.
It goes beyond that. Gawa nga nila ng algorithm. And also, how we spread information as well sa face-to-face setting, di ba? Pagka, nakita mo ba tong post ni ganito, no? So, may ganito ding aspect. So, yung influence, hindi lang nakakulong sa digital world, but it actually transcends and goes and permeates our everyday life.
All the more that it also changes brands, marketing strategies. Kung before, di ba, parang brands are so excited to like invite celebrities, yung mga sikat natin ng mga artista. But because like the stark difference that we can see from influencers and traditional celebrities or artists is like medyo distanced yung personal life of the traditional celebrity sa isang influencer, whereas the influencer is like sharing that person's life in the public, sa kanyang followers. So it's like these brands, these companies are like also looking into the possibility na ang laki ng potential na ma-promote yung kanilang mga products if an influencer who is known for that person's authenticity, So it's like, it makes that person reliable of any, review or product or any paid na promotion or partnerships.
I think that also brings into question yung authenticity na rin nila. Kasi when they start promoting different brands and when they start advertising, especially when they do not mention that it's a paid ad,
yes.
no, authentic pa rin ba talaga sila? No? So, makikita natin na may financial aspect din ito eh. So, one of the utility people get from being an influencer, aside from the fact that they can express who they are, is that they get money. No? Through fun and easy ways. Dahil po-post lang sila ng video, they just share to the world who they are, what their lifestyle is. They get paid for that, no?
Saka parang employment yun mismo talaga eh.
Yeah,
Naalala ko
it's
yun
a
yan.
career,
Doon
yes,
sabi kong
at this
article
point,
na may pinaka-boss sila at sinasabihan sila kung ano yung ipopropagate nila.
Kung may script na minsan, sir, no?
Nakahanda na yung mga memes nila na ipapakalat nila kung totoo. So,
Yeah, which brings us to the question na halimbawa yung mga social media influencers ba na tinatangkilik natin, talaga bang authentic na yung kanilang mga promotions, for instance, yung mga ads? Can they really tell, halimbawa, us or the audience, yung mga consumers ng mga bad experiences nila with the products? So this also, I think, ito yung mga issues and mga questions, no, that we can also ask.
So in a sense, merong ambiguity rin, no? Kung sinasabi natin that we use our social media accounts with absolute freedom. Tapos, nako-control ng, for example, trolling nga, o kung ano mang, sino mang influencer yung mga kaisipan natin. So, para bang, is it still an absolute freedom if somehow we are overpowered by hindi yung rationality natin bilang tao eh. Kumbaga, overpowered tayo ng air. Kumbaga ng what do you call this? Yun nga, ng media. Tutuusin sa mga accounts natin, yung feed sa atin.
But how do you define absolute freedom first, sir?
Ayun nga.
Kasi I think there was an assumption on your part that we
nga
have
eh.
an absolute freedom to express who we are, but is it absolute?
Yeah.
Yun nga eh. Yun ang tanong doon, if it's absolute.
Kasi some of the, I guess, influencer na masasabihan natin nung katulad nung nabanggit mo kanina, Ma'am Marga, that now that we've come to a point where may question na yung mga tao kung authentic ba talaga to or ganyan. And some of them may respond that, well, at the end of the day, it's their freedom of speech to post what they want, to advertise however they want to advertise. So, akma pa rin bang sabihin yun? Or katulad nung sinabi ni Sir Brent, meron din bang limitations? Or what are some of the freedom that we usually enjoy na kailangan natin mas maging mindful once we become an influencer?
Kumbaga, freedom pa ba yun if you're simply being compelled by the influence na nakukuha mo sa social media?
And that's another aspect
On
of
the
it,
consumer
no?
part.
Oo,
Yeah.
sa part.
Consumer part.
Pero sa mga social media influencers talaga, parang at the end of the day, they could just say that, well, it's my account after all. I mean, I can post what I want, I can say what I want, kahit anong content na gusto ko, kaya kong gawin because of the, freedom of speech, and their freedom to do whatever they want and to the freedom for expression. But the point is, ano yung mga kailangan nating consider if we're gonna talk about freedom?
Pero siguro po, yun nga, as professional ethicists, kasi nagtuturo naman tayo ng ethics, kumbaga, we really have to boost up our duty eh. Kumbaga, yung masabi natin na, I'm very much accountable to what I'm doing. So, yung mga pinapalaganap ko, dapat talaga ay yung pang align sa kung anong dapat talaga maipalaganap, di ba? Hindi yung tipo nakaka-influential lang tayo ng basta-basta.
Kasi I think what they have to realize as influencers is that they are public figures. And with that influence, with that power, they can change minds, they can change values. And these values will in turn change behavior, no? And
Attitudes.
Attitudes and even their knowledge of what is true, no? Even their understanding of reality, maaapektuhan nung influencers na to eh. And so when we talk of freedom of expression, when we talk of the freedom to speak or to create whatever content, we cannot think of it as an absolute freedom. Every freedom has to have a limitation. in order for that freedom to create more freedoms. No, because when you understand freedom in an absolute sense, you are going to curtail freedom, whether in your own person or in another, in the end, right?
In relation to the idea of freedom having some boundaries or limitations, I guess moral responsibility as well, or plays a factor here. So in every freedom, there is a corresponding duty na equivalent to it. For example, we have the freedom of speech, let's say, no? We also have to be responsible of how our words will impact others, especially if it's harmful in nature, gano'n, no? So when it comes to the area of influencers, I guess there needs to be awareness to what they put out into the world and how it will affect others. But at the same time, may mga tao rin namang magsasabi na, well, responsibilidad pa ba nung tao na nagbigay ng knowledge kung paano siya tatanggapin ng ibang tao? For example, I put out a post and merong mga false claims yung post, no? I can just say that it's up to the viewers or the consumers.
It's my page. It's my
page, diba? It's up to them kung paano nila to tatanggapin. But this is my narrative. So may mga ganun ding aspects. So how do we...
The classic opinion ko to. So
Ang problema nga, yung mga netizens, hindi naman ka-critical sa abangan namin nila. Nakikita nila.
Siguro yung konsepto mismo ng duty natin, kaakibat din yun yung kapag tinignan natin siya dun sa mga influencers. Ang mga influencers, they have this trust from the followers. They have this sort of credibility. Whereas kaakibat nun yung duty nila doon sa followers or sa audience nila to be honest, siguro to be transparent. Kasi how do you build your credibility? Diba, you also build it with trust, diba? You build, for instance, yung pagtingin natin sa human rights, for instance, or injustice. So, nagbe-build tayo sa ideas or ideals of non-maleficence, or like in doing good, our intentions are good, for instance, in promoting such brands, such products. So kumbaga, they built this kind of credibility with that kind of trust. So dahil they have this kind of trust from the followers, it's imperative that influencers must keep in mind na whatever they produce, whatever the content na i-consume ng kanilang followers or ng audience, they are accountable to that. And we can't just say na, this is my narrative, I'm just, it's my account. So, pagdating din sa consumers, we want to tell them din, o kaya to make them be aware of not just consuming the media, uncritically, but we also want them to examine, and at the same time, maging critical tayo sa mga media na nakukonsume o naibibigay sa atin.
Which unfortunately has become more difficult nowadays. Kasi dahil nga sa algorithm, minsan, yung makikita mong videos, pag nasimulan mo na fake news, tuloy-tuloy na yan, no? So, you be stuck in this bubble na lahat ng nakukonsumong media ay mali based on wrong information. Kaya, mahalaga, alongside yung pagiging critical ng isang consumer o ng isang viewer, ay yung critical thinking din dun sa part, of course, ng content creators. Yes. Of course, they might think of utility in the sense that I will gain money from this, nababayaran nila ako, so I'll say whatever or I'll follow this script. Pero, we have to understand that our voice has power. And so, we have to be more responsible in what we say, in the values we promote. Kasi it will affect real people. It will affect the world. Hindi lang yung sa digital world, pero the world outside, no? Ating mga pang-araw-araw na pamumuhay, ang type ng policies na gagawa natin, the type of governance we have.
Resulta ng eleksyon.
Yeah. So now we've seen some of the masasabi nating positive benefits or benefits ng pagiging influencer. At the same time, some of the downsides and some of the duties and responsibilities attached to it. So, ano ba kaya yung pwede nating may suggest as room for improvements into forming an ethical guidelines on this? Kasi when I search on it, and I think when Marga search on it as well, when it comes to the ethics or morality of being an influencer, they're usually centered on advertisement,
Marketing,
branding,
strategies.
marketing. It's not really more on the responsibility on a social scale. Ganun. So, ano pa kaya yung pwede nating maidagdag dun sa conversation na yon? And hopefully, as something that we can develop later on as a society, given that this is already becoming a prominent or maraming ng tao yung nag-delve into this profession.
Gas-gas na yung kasabihan, no? Pero sabi nga nila, I think before you click. Kailangan, bago ka magpo-post ng video na to, alamin mo muna, ano ba tong sinabi ko? Totoo ba ito? O authentic ba ito? Nire-reflect ba dito talaga ang aking karanasan? At ano ang maaring implikasyon ng sinabi ko? No? So, there has to be that awareness na as an influencer with a big number of followers, that will affect how people will behave, dapat mag-fact check ako. No? Hindi pwede basta-bastang sasabihin ko and assume na totoo yun kung saan ko man nabasa. I have the responsibility now to make sure na what I will provide to my viewers ay totoo, ay may basihan, reasonable.
Yeah, since nabanggit din ni Ma'am Jen, because this is a relatively new phenomenon, compared halimbawa yung existence ng mga celebrities natin, endorsing, or yung mga branding natin. But, well, social media influencers are relatively new, Kaya when we look into the literature, talagang very, partial, fragmented, sporadic yung mga literature on this, yung mga pag-aaral tungkol dito. And I think we're just starting to see the effects of it right now. We can see, in the present generation, how they are being influenced by these kinds of platforms, So, pero I think even if yun yung relatively new right now, but the concepts, ideals, yung usapin ng social responsibility, usapin ng accountability, itong mga to, hindi mga bagong issues to.
Yeah.
So we can look at these issues again.
In the first place, lahat tayo, kahit hindi tayo influencers, we have that duty to ourselves and to our countrymen to think critically, to always be geared towards the pursuit of truth.
And part of that is also how we deliver this information, this content. There needs to be care as well in how we deliver this. We have to be aware of the social cues and at the same time kung ano ba yung considered as legally, morally, culturally acceptable in a certain situation, on a certain issue.
Ako lagi ko lang iniisip pagka may mga sa newsfeed, kumbaga, I'm more intelligent than that. Kumbaga, mas rational ako, mas nakakapag-isip ako sa kung ano mang feeding sa akin ng newsfeed.
Yes. At ang goal ay sana mahawaan natin. Kumbaga, oo. At in a sense na makapaghamig pa tayo na mag-isip critically. No? Na hindi natin dapat hinihiwalay yung ating sarili sa iba. Na ako, matalino ako, ikaw hindi. Parang combative yung ganun, sir eh. Dapat nga ang gagawin natin pag nakita natin na mayroong mali ay nag-share siya ng fake news, ay practice care, no? Parang in a way, yung atin naman sense of duty and responsibility will be heightened and deepened by our sense of care towards others.
Yes. So, at this point, we have been able to acknowledge that this is a relatively new field, new profession, and there are benefits that come with it. There are also downsides. There are duties and responsibilities. But what remains is this duty, I guess, to stay, to always uphold truths, or at least, at the very least of it, practice non-maleficence or make sure that you are not harming anyone with the influence that you have. Marami pang pwedeng pag-usapan sa usapin ng pagiging influencer. Yeah. And I hope this talk can open up more avenues for these conversations. Maraming salamat po sa pakikinig sa usaping ito at sana po ay may natutunan kayo.